I'm trying something new again today. What I want to do is go over some of the big sports headlines of the week in a kind of quick fire ramble. So let me know in the comments and by hitting the like button what you think of this video. I'll be covering a bunch of different sports in this format, and we may as well start with MMA, because since the Conor McGregor Michael Chandler fight was announced, you guys have been in the comments asking me what my prediction is, and I so appreciate that. I love that you're opening up the conversation in the comments and that you want to hear my opinion. But my answer for this one across the board was pretty much that I'll believe that this fight is happening once the walkout music comes on. And lo and behold, the Dublin press conference that was scheduled for last Monday, ahead of UFC 303, which is happening later this month, it was cancelled. I think within 12 hours of the press conference supposedly starting. This video might be chopped up a little weird because there's a thunderstorm happening outside, so I'll be cutting out the really loud thunder. But to me, the press conference being cancelled is not immediately indicative that the card is not going to happen. There could be many reasons for that, and to that point, very recently, people like Ariel Helwani have been saying that it's actually looking good for Conor, for McGregor and Chandler. However, what has happened since the press conference being cancelled kind of tells us that it's not looking good. I think the UFC removed a pin post promoting the event on their Instagram. Chandler has been in his feelings on his own Instagram. Apparently, he's left training camp, which would be like the biggest indicator. But if we still have people telling us that the fight could go on, then I don't know how true that is. But even ESPN, from what I can tell, maybe there's an error because I'm in Canada and I'm not supposed to be able to purchase the pay-per-view through ESPN anyway. But from what I can tell, ESPN or ESPN Plus have removed the pay-per-view from their website for now. So at the very least, it seems that ESPN is not convinced that this fight is happening, and they just don't want to have to deal with a bunch of refund requests until something is figured out. But let me know what you think in the comments. Is this fight still happening in June? Now, let's change gears here. You guys know that I love my soccer, and there are a couple couple headlines, a couple of stories worth mentioning for this week, sort of while we wait for the Euros and for Copa America to get underway. By the way, I will be making a Copa America jersey tier list next week, like we did for the Euros, so keep an eye out for that. But the first soccer story that I want to mention is Manchester City suing the Premier League. So they are suing the league over associated party transaction rules that were introduced in December 2021. And what these rules say, very basically, okay, let's say I'm a billionaire. I own a tech company and I bought a Premier League club. Because of current financial fair play rules, I can't just spend all my money immediately at the club. I mean, there's a reason that Newcastle didn't just go out and buy all of the world's best players after the takeover. So if I want to be able to put more money into the club of my own or spend more money, I have to increase revenue first. But sponsorship deals are part of revenue. So I could think, hey, let's get my tech company to sign a $500 million sponsorship deal with my football club. Then I can spend all of that on players. Well, that's what the Premier League is trying to stop with these rules, because my tech company and my football club are associated through me. That would be an associated party transaction. And the Premier League puts limits on that. They decide what the fair market value is for advertising, for sponsoring at my club. They set benchmarks related to how much a sponsorship deal with my club should be worth. And then I can't charge my associated party any more than that. So now Man City are saying, they're basically arguing that this case is against competition law in the UK. And they're seeking monetary damages on the basis that for years, since 2021, they were forced to comply with these rules that, according to them, violates competition law. More importantly, though, the real reason I think we can all agree that this is coming up now, there's the 115. So the Premier League is after Manchester City for 115 alleged breaches of financial fair play rules, and a lot of those charges relate to allegedly inflated sponsorships, but basically all relate to Man City spending more money than supposedly the Premier League would allow under their rules. So if Man City win in that competition law case, then they can hold it up to the 115 charges and say, look, you're accusing us of breaking laws that were themselves unlawful to begin with. So I'm very interested in all of this and seeing how it plays out. Of course, as a Newcastle supporter, if Man City win the case, that could have a lot of impact on us and how we spend money moving forward. So an arbitration tribunal, excuse me, with the rain comes the allergies. An arbitration tribunal will hear the case on June 10th, and then a decision is expected to be made within 2 weeks of June 10th. So by the end of June, we should have an answer to this case, and then see how that affects the charges against Manchester City. Now, moving on, the other big soccer item is, of course, Mbappé officially announced at Real Madrid. So this happened 2 days after Madrid won the Champions League. So to be a Real Madrid fan, best week of your life. He reportedly signed for 5 years. Madrid got him for €0, which converts to $0. But to be fair, Mbappé himself got a €150 million signing on bonus. I forget who, but I remember I did see someone calling it the most expensive free transfer of all time. And you can say, look, I don't know how much of that was necessary because Madrid was Mbappé's dream club. So it all feels a bit circle jerky. I'll say self-congratulatory. But on paper, he's earning €15 million per season, which is significantly less than he was earning at PSG. So in all fairness, it's just like moving money around and giving him a fair pay on the bottom line. To me, this is, a chance for Mbappé to win a Champions League and to play for his dream club. On Madrid's end, I think this is all just marketing and branding. I don't think they needed Mbappé on the squad from a footballing perspective. They've won, 5 of the last 10, maybe 6 of the last 11 Champions Leagues. It is what it is. Alright, now for a jump scare. Cricket. They're calling it one of the biggest shocks in cricket history. The USA beat Pakistan in the T20 Cricket World Cup in Dallas this week. Granted, we are still in the group stage, so anything can still happen, but this is a pretty huge deal because the United States have never participated in the World Cup before, and now they're co-hosting with the West Indies. They won their first match against Canada. But Pakistan, our cricket superpower. And so to put this game in more general terms, maybe let's do like baseball terms for those who don't follow cricket. So after the 9th inning, the game was tied between the United States and Pakistan. So it went to an extra inning. The United States batted first, and they scored 18 runs. And then Pakistan went up to bat. They needed 19 runs to win, but they only got 13 before going out. Now this was an especially important win for the United States because the next round of the tournament is the Super 8 round, and the top 2 teams from each group of this group stage advance to the Super 8s. The key factor in all of this is that India, the world number 1s, are in the same group. So Pakistan probably need to win against India to have a chance at advancing to the Super 8s. Meanwhile, the United States also have to play against India, but their final match of the group stage is against Ireland. And a win there should be enough to see them through to the next round. So already a historic tournament for the United States. As a Canadian, just like the FIFA World Cup, it's just nice to be here. It's nice to be included. We'll be leaving the party early to go to bed. But that's where I will leave the news roundup for today. My picks for what to watch this weekend. The NHL Stanley Cup finals are starting this weekend. Game 1 between the Oilers and the Panthers is happening on Saturday night. And of course, we've got the NBA finals. Boston is up 1 game. If you haven't seen my Boston Celtics countdown video, I'll have it linked in the description. And they're going to play game 2 at home on Sunday. The French Open finals are also this weekend. The women's finals on Saturday, the men on Sunday. But by the time you're watching this video, maybe the more exciting match has already happened between Alcaraz and Sinner in the semi-finals. It's one of those, the real final games. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Don't forget to let me know what you think of this kind of video, and I'll see you soon.